You hit edit the title. Woo! I love Thursday. Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah, at that point, might as well.
Second, third time seeing Steven. I've seen Tom a lot. You know, you guys are all really great. Just seeing stuff in person. Lance, of course, it's gonna be my first time meeting you.
It'll be my first time meeting all of you guys in person, so I'm super excited. A little anxious, but I'm super excited.
God, it's Train Boy. Can't believe it.
Confirmed.
No,
He's not real.
It'll be a good time.
For the longest time, I was tempted to see if Marvin would like pretend to be me, but I was like, when I go to the train shows, that's not gonna work.
That's funny.
We were saying we have a friend Josh who will be there, and it would be funny if we just got him to pretend like he's like Unlucky Tug or something, because nobody knows him.
Have like a little sticker. Like we all have those kind of sticker like badges Westy made. Those are really nice.
I got the really tiny pin. I'm going to be bringing the Day Out with Thomas lanyard that I got when I was with my friends over the summer, and I'll wear that with one that there was a special one that Westy made for our group for that day, and I'll wear that along with the Day Out with Thomas lanyard and this little tiny pin on a story he's got for the whole event that we'll have. I'm excited. I'll be wearing that.
I was looking for like
I have the whole lanyard. That's with Tom right now. The bunch of other stuff. It got that same Strasbourg pin.
Yeah.
I have the Greenberg one. It's a bunch of Tugs pins on there.
Oh my god. Stuff. It's Johnny. Here's Johnny.
John.
The man himself.
How do you make it?
Oh.
Here's Johnny.
Here he is.
Yeah. How are you, Johnny? Oh shit. Here? Oh, he's muted.
He's on mute.
I muted my mic. I am doing fantastic.
I'm glad to hear it.
Excellent to hear.
Are you hyped for Edison, bro?
See it.
Very much so. It's kind of been very interesting to say the least.
I feel you. Getting there for me has been the hardest part so far because I'm like, now I'm down to the week, and it's like getting here was the fastest shit in the world. Now I can't. Now the week is taking forever. Now I'm like, oh, I got 7 more days. Are you kidding me? Till I can hit the road? Sick. Awesome.
Right? So good. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm just trying to plan out the
2
drive, man.
years. Yeah, it's gonna be a 3.5 driver for me being in Maryland. So you're driving from Kentucky, right?
Yeah, so it's about 10.5 for me. Depending on where I leave from. I could leave from I'm tempted to like drive a little bit the night before, like instead of Friday, like maybe on Thursday, get a little bit of a head start and leave out of a further from Kentucky because I'm more mid Kentucky, but I don't. We'll see. It's only like it won't be too much of a difference either way. That and my girl wants to see the Mothman statue. That is only a 45-minute detour from the road there, so I'll have to account for that. So we'll see.
That's gonna be sick.
Totally.
Fun though.
I might have to
Trip.
ride back with you and see that.
Dude, please do.
Yeah.
Vacation though, 10 hours, like
Yeah.
straight down.
George,
I'm just gonna try to do it in like a single go.
Probably your best bet, you know?
Yeah.
George, how long
I've
was
never
your
done
flight?
something like that before, so it's like we'll see how it goes.
A lot of people, this is their first time, but it being their first train show, first time like traveling. I know for me, this is my first time traveling alone, which is really nice, you know?
Mm.
Kind of.
I'm only 5 meters away from your location and rapidly approaching. You're not alone.
Aw.
But it's just been my dream, kind of like as a kid, to do this stuff, you know, hang out with other Thomas fans. Good
Great,
weekend,
man.
better than it.
Praying the mantle.
So, guys, want to start showcasing your stuff right now? You know,
Yeah,
feel
sure.
free to anything you're bringing to the show.
Play with showcase stuff. Oh no, I gotta. I have to go and get it.
Packed up. I just packed it.
Dude,
No worries.
Yeah.
I have
I'll
one.
be right back.
One out.
A few things, and I got my shelf of stuff that I can pack. I haven't packed yet because I have time off next week, but yeah, I can show a few things.
you can see that I've packed, by the way. That's
Oh,
Dude, I didn't notice your display case until
yeah,
now. Jeez.
that you can see
Yeah,
I've
James
packed.
in there?
Yeah, that's it.
All
That's
empty,
all
bro.
James. I might.
James.
Yeah, I gotta find a box to put him in, and the Bachman duck. As everything else fits in a box. I'll just put Bachman duck in
So
the car.
funny, like I noticed that before when you first joined. Everything is cleared out of the case except James.
Yeah. Well, 'cause
Just
I
sitting there.
thought,
Poor James.
I thought I would have my new James ready, but I'm not sure if he will be, so I might just bring that one, just so I have it.
It'll be a big James weekend though.
Yeah,
You
it will
know,
be.
The Gauge
Uh,
1 James
sure.
is gonna
Big
be
James.
That's
Big James. Big scary James.
That's
Hold
one
on.
of the coolest things to me, like ever.
That's. I still can't believe that's. I'm gonna be within range of the James. That's just insane to me.
That's the plastic James. You know, it's been on screen for 20 odd years.
Shout out to Ricky and Lewis. They're going to be bringing props for the show. So if any of you
Yeah.
coming and want to have a look at the props up close, they're going to do it for a second time with this whole trip that they're doing this year.
It's going to be really
Nice.
awesome, though. It's like my favorite part about it, all that.
We got Big James.
Stuff
you.
with the props. Big
He's got
James.
the Hornby
We
James.
got the Big James. This shit. I'm wondering. This is my man.
It's a match.
We were actually. This is a question for the chat. Should I bring both the Hornby train sets? Because I'm thinking I could definitely bring one. Two, I could probably do. It's just we can find the
So-
space for them.
All comes down to space. If you can fit them, bring them both. You know.
Yeah.
Sure.
If not, I mean, like just like one would be cool to have. You know.
Yeah.
I'd say do James though.
Yeah, I was about to say if you're gonna only bring one, go for James.
If
My
I
Hornby
only...
James recently crapped out, so we need one that works.
This one barely works.
This
like,
one is it's the Tinder drive, man. It's
Yeah.
horrible.
That
Got
stuff
my,
sucks.
It's the standard Bachman James here. A little bit of modification. There's the
I'm gonna-
face.
I'm bringing
So
all the
location's
faces you
face,
made
I
me,
see.
and I'm just gonna buy a new Bachman James, like while I'm at Edison, and I'm just gonna pop one of the faces you made for me right onto him, just like he's here, he's ready.
This is my favorite one, the angry.
You can't beat that face.
Shout out to Rexecutions. Rexecutions designs that face. I actually got
For
one of
so
those,
long,
one of his faces,
we never
too.
had a proper James pack. No,
Yeah,
This
and
one's my
it's a really
favorite, the
accurate
glum one.
That's
I
my
think this one's probably my favorite one.
That's so funny because I feel like the original 3 Bachman engines are probably the ones that like need the faces and stuff most.
They've done
Yeah,
everything
because they're so
besides.
popular.
They've done what they gave. How many times now have they redone James 3, and they still haven't, given him like a new whistle or they just now fixed his smoke box. So
It took 20 years though.
yeah, that's true.
Wait, has it been
It's-
20 years?
Pretty much.
Kind of in
think
the
so.
original range came out
2001?
2002. 2002.
2004, 2003, 2002 were when the original Thomas and Percy and the other stuff that came out with them.
James was the next year.
And James came after that. I remember spending $43 on him when he
Old
first
man.
came out.
Back in the 70s.
And I was like 14 years old.
Jeez, dude.
Early 2000s kid. Yeah.
If
I'm a 90s
only.
kid, technically.
Remember getting mine, Strasbourg. I must have been probably 5 or 6. It's like my first
Nice. From
real
Strasbourg. That's cool.
Walkman engine. Yeah. They had a great gift shop back then. Now it's nowhere near.
The very first electric engine I ever got that was a Thomas character was Duck. My local hobby store, the Train Room, run by Mr. Mo, he had all of the original Hornby Thomas, including some early packaging of Gordon and James and the Rolling Stock, which my parents bought. Duck was the first one, and the Thomas and Percy electric train set I also got too, and then Gordon and James. James was never a really good runner. But it was cool to always have in the corner, and I still have them upstairs in the box with other Hornby stuff that I've saved over the years. But Stepney is the one engine that I have that runs quite well, and my other favorite,
Don't tell
Oliver,
George that.
his tire is kind of really, really worn out and kind of broken. I would need to get it replaced, but aside from that, like, the way that eBay listings, he almost costs like between 200 to 250 pounds. So
Yeah.
I think if you
Yeah.
unscrew the drive and put a new replacement tire on him, then that would be able to work. I'll have to try that.
Don't tell George
I've been seeing
your
one-
Hornby Stepney is the good runner. He'll be following you home.
I'll try to bring him.
I was kind of cursed into liking Bachman. I was like 7 years old. I got Thomas at 8, and my grandparents got me the Percy electric set, and then it was the James set, Percy to go with it, and I just had those, and I treated them like they were play rails, not Bachmans. So
Yeah. I mean,
that's all that's what it put me on early to just looking past the flaws they had just because they were electric.
Yeah, it's
I
like
thought that was cool. I saw
never-
the for 12 age thing, and I was like, oh, I'm breaking the law. Can't have these.
Yeah. So, just in general, to everybody watching, we'd like to do like a big group photo of everybody's Thomas model.
bring
So
one.
make sure if you're gonna bring a model, like a Thomas model is just good to have for that. Just one massive photo.
Tail Lamp.
Right now,
Tail Lamp says that he said he can't come.
Oh
Tail
yeah.
Lamp, I'll send you photos and stuff like that, homie.
Yeah, he was there last time. He was super cool. He did. He's our.
Tail Lamp is cool.
He's our
gotta get the chat up.
He's our unofficial videographer. He took all the videos George used.
All the footage
Yeah.
from Edison we just used from the last event. Kind of funny. I've been seeing comments of people being like, "Oh, where's this from? Did this happen already?" And it's like, no. This is completely separate. This is August.
Mhm.
Be better than this.
Oh, yeah.
I
My
was preparing
Thomas
to
is
go back to
being-
my seasonal job, so I couldn't go, but I'm so excited to go this month. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. Like that August event, it was me, Tom, and like, a handful of other guys like Toad and like Westy and all them, just to see if we can pull something like this off. And it was great. We had a great day on Saturday. That's where the infamous Burger King picture comes from. The cheesy tot picture
No.
originates from that. And Saturday or Sunday was pretty good. It was a lot more chill.
Mhm.
It was just really nice seeing all these people come out, and we gave them such short notice too.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully,
I was like a month before the show. I was like, hey.
yeah. But I'm saying before, my Thomas is being worked on right now. This is just the standard Bachman Thomas. I'll probably bring modded face, and then I bring these as well. It's just like a whole bunch of. Oh, they all fell out. A whole bunch of printed faces.
Dude, you should
Um,
show the chat the open wagons I've been working on, the season 1 looking
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah,
These
those are
are
fun.
these are really nice. These are some of the Oxford Rail plank
Those
wagons.
are good. You can get them for pretty good
These-
cheap on Hattons.
I got these. I think they're 27 pound for like a triple pack. Got
Jeez.
two
It's a
of
good
them.
deal.
I'm
Yeah.
doing a whole bunch of them, and I love these. Like in the show, these are some of my favorite pieces of rolling stock, and it's just so
They're
cool to
always
have them.
fun.
Yeah. They're
George,
the
I
only
have a
girl
hack
trucks.
for you.
I just
I
have
have a hack
these.
for you.
I
Oh,
got
those are
I got
cute.
two of
Those are some
those.
of the
Shut
first
up,
rolling
Preston.
stock I ever
I got
got.
two of those.
George, I have a hack for you.
What's
Did
up?
you know that the back brackets for the Oxford Rail 7 plankers pop off? So what you can do is have them a bit wider, a little bit narrower, to make them look like they did in season 2 or season 1 because they were off put a little bit. They weren't quite centered. They're held together with a. If you take them off, they're like little plastic stubs that are put together in holes in the back. So all you have to do is just sand it flat, maybe fill in the holes with a bit of filler putty, and then sand it smooth. And when it's completely dry, then you can glue it however you want, a bit narrower, a little bit wider. I've tried that a couple of times with mine. It's pretty cool.
It's amazing. Like the first couple seasons, they're just so, especially 1 and 2. It's so kind of janky, and I love that look. Really, like
Heavily
3 to
weathered.
5 don't really capture that.
A lot of truck.
Random
Uh,
weathering that all the trucks had.
Exactly. These are, it's like splotches of brown and white. But these are really cool. And you're just showing the Hornby ones. The
Yeah,
the eyes printed on. Those are really neat.
Yeah, I've got
yeah.
Just
I've got
love
two of
those.
those. Those are my favorites.
I have 2 of my red and blue ones that I custom painted from my Bachmann 7 plankers. So I think I used Rust-Oleum's chalked paints. The red paint from Rust-Oleum chalk is like the best out of can spray for paint I've ever used because it isn't runny. It applies nice and thin and perfectly distributed along the side. It's like with the gray, the age gray that I always recommend people for the faces. Which is great for all the faces that you get for the printed ones. But this color and this color were great for blue and red. And I just hand painted everything else in acrylic, folk art and Americana prints. And then I just added my Dave's, my trusty Dave's decals weathering powders. Perfect for weathering.
Those are, like you mentioned, the folk art paints, Dave's decals, weathering powder. It's kind of like perfect go-tos,
Man,
Those all the time.
oh,
Yeah, but
let's see.
we got
What
a
else do I
question.
got?
Lance, your mic's muted, my guy.
My bad. I'm sorry. I was trying to say, it was you who inspired me, Stephen, to when I can't look at trucks the same if they don't have the inside of the wagon itself like a lighter tan. Like that's like I'm not paying over 30 pounds for you if you don't have that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Rust-Oleum camo tan color. Great for, and they come with a few variations. There's a lighter tan and a darker tan, which is perfect for wood. I've used it for the Sodor logging cars. That's not true. I did it for 1 car, but everything else was hand painted with my acrylics. But perfect for the open wagons, dude. And if you ever want to mask the flatbeds, perfect for that. And then you can individually paint a couple of them to give some variety and then weather it. Perfect
I need to
combination.
get my hands on some of that. That is the Sensei modeler. Modelering of Sensei.
Yeah. Thank you, my dude. Thank you, my dude. Someone had a question. Does someone have a question?
What
Go for it.
What made somebody in chat asked what made us start doing the event? And George, you wanna take this one? This
He owed somebody credit.
So
this is me and you.
I mentioned it
but
before.
I'll tell you take it.
One of the first times I ever hung out with Austerity, Tom, came over to my house and we just kind of played trains. Like it was a great time. It was so funny too, because it wasn't that far from me, and I posted it I was selling a couple like troublesome truck faces, and he was like, "Oh, these are cool. I'd like some of these." I was like, "All right, I'll ship them you whatever." And he's like, "Oh, can I pick them up? I'm kind of close to you anyway." I was like, "Yeah, sure." It was a great time. We kind of hung out, run trains, and we were just talking about um I'm sure all you guys know about
We
Tank
talked a
Engine
lot
Society
about
and
SIF.
the aftermath about that. So this was like right around that time, and I was saying, oh, like that Northlands event was so fun. Just
That's how
really
I
nice to
actually
see.
met Thomas Austerity there because he was showing the very first customs he started to create when he just came on. I remember seeing him on Twitter for the first time, and that was cool.
Yeah.
And then seeing the amount of growth that he and you, George, were getting with your customs, with the influence we're taking for a lot of the people in this call and on Twitter, that was cool. And I got to chat with you on Discord a lot, and that's how we got to connect and communicate with each other. And that's where the magic started to happen with planning out this event. It's like
Yeah.
I did this before with a couple of friends of mine, just meeting and talking to each other with the very first Greenberg Edison event in 2019. But seeing you guys take it on in such a really nice professional manner is so refreshing. I mean, like I said earlier, it's like a young group of friends carrying the mantle and also doing a good job with managing something like this.
Thank you. This is, like, just we need more events like that. Like see this stuff online all the time. It'd just be really nice to do it in person. Shows happen pretty frequently, so we're gonna try to do as many of them as we can. After Edison, we do have a lot of big news moving forward. With this kind of stuff, like good news. But it's just for the
I'm
fans,
pregnant.
really.
Yeah, George is pregnant.
How do you know? But
Not until after
Right.
Edison, though. Not until after.
Oh yeah, George is going.
yeah, you're right. You're right. But it's gonna be a good time, and this is probably the most. Not to toot our own horns or anything, but this is probably the most like kind of ambitious event that's been held like this because to me, I'm just still in shock. We have all these talented people coming. We seem to have like a good group of people, planning a show to this event, which is really nice. And in addition to that, I think the cherry on top really is having Gauge One props right by us.
Oh yeah.
That, dude, I'm pinching myself. Like just even talking about this, it's phenomenal. The actual like Scarloey, Rusty, James. I think they're gonna have a bunch of rolling stock and like faces, stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Really
I mentioned this the other day to you guys. For me, this was kind of how I found out about fandom because growing up my whole life, watched the show, that, and probably 2018, 2019. That's when I found out about Thomas Tank merch and the props and stuff like that. And I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. So for the 2019 show, I was like, oh, I have to come to this. I was only 20 minutes away from Edison. I was like, oh, this is perfect. I used to go to the Greenberg shows all the time as a kid, and it was just really nice seeing like all these people, like the fandom, come out for this big thing. We hope to kind of carry that on.
Yeah, man. Gosh, dude, that's incredible. I mean, I remember in 2019, that was the first big train show that I have really remembered going to, even since I was little. That was my first big event where I got to meet so many friends with the Thomas fandom. I've been friends with Looking Lewis for a year or two when I started beginning to really socialize online. But seeing those props in person, they were a part of my childhood from the screen, and being able to look at them in those little glass cases and talking with them because they did such a great job with restoring them, that was magical. I mean, growing up in the 90s, watching Shining Time Station and being able to find those VHS tapes my mom and dad would always get for me to watch, it brought me back to like, when I was little, and the fact that I'm seeing something that was on the TV screen when I was little right in front of me. It is incredible. My friend edited Strange took this really funny picture where everyone after a while had migrated around the show for a little bit and it wasn't as populated and crazy. I just was sitting there alone, like kind of like crouching and looking at eye level at the table. And it's like, you'll love to see it with this tweet because it's like that, it's like gold dust was just filling my entire presence, man. Like seeing these in person like that is just so magical. So not only that, doing that and supporting all of you guys and everyone who's not only participating in the show but running it is pretty a big deal because I think like with modern railroading, I've always said with the other streams we've had and online a lot, Thomas is very much a flagship of the hobby. Whether you're into trains, railroad history, or model railroading in general, he has brought so many people to sustain that hobby and the interest. So I think doing something like this and connecting with Thomas brings so many people together because a lot of people have seen Thomas, regardless if you're fans of the old series like we are or the new series. Thomas brought so many people in that interest. So I think it's one of the things that are great inspirations to keep the hobby alive. Real.
We're gonna keep doing this as long as we can, you know. As
Dude.
long as there's still interest from people, I don't see it stopping.
Yeah.
Have any other questions in the chat right now?
Bring it on. Yeah.
Doesn't look like there's been another. So, just if anybody does have any questions as we go, just feel free to ask.
Can I show what I'm bringing?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
No.
Okay, one's
No,
a
you
very
can't.
crude model. The other one, the other one is not a crude model, and two are just faces with trains. I don't know if I'm gonna bring two that just plop a face on because that's not really what I call modeling in my eyes. It's not really, they haven't been done yet. But this was seen in some videos, but this is like a railway series salty in a way.
Love
Yeah.
salty.
Yeah, dude. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Salty was built really well.
Okay.
I have
Clever.
to glue the buffer beam though because it comes off really easily.
Oh
It's
my god,
hilarious.
what happened?
But
Your Railway Series customs on YouTube are what inspired me. Like a big portion of what inspired me to even start doing customs. Like,
Oh yeah, man.
thank you. I
Those videos are.
appreciate that.
The whole series is just like fantastic.
I'll
Thank
never
you.
forget all of your crashes. They're always really fun to watch between like the quality that you take with your very railway series inspired models since I met you in Edison and getting to meet you in person to watching all the videos you created. It's so fun seeing you experiment with those different styles and doing practical effects too. That's always cool to see.
you're a madman with your trains sometimes, though. Gives me anxiety watching them.
Shit on
Like I
fire.
might as well. This will give me a time to explain because I'm lucky Tug showed it, but like people wanted to know like why did I do that. That was kind of an on the fly thing that I did with the explosion in the background. Basically I was doing the crash. He went down, really crashed into it. I just happened to put a fuel tanker there, and I was like, I wonder if I can do something with this. So like I made it look like he hit it, like debris just like knocked it silly, and it just like crashed right in front of him, or it exploded right in front of him.
Stuff, man.
Jeez.
This
David Min would
one
approve.
he would. This one I did just recently. I haven't. Well, I showed it to a couple people. It's like a Railway Series den.
Oh yeah, let's
Mhm.
go.
That's sweet.
Is that a Hornby
Um,
Sentinel?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Now it's time for the actual things that she did. So, okay. This is you've seen it in Unlucky Tugs videos, but it's the Railway Series Baby Thomas, which a lot of people consider the Thomas model to make.
It's cool.
It was a breath of fresh air to do because I didn't have to go finding a chassis for it. So, it works fine. It runs smooth. Good.
That thing is
Nice.
literally a tank.
Literally.
Oh,
Okay,
gee.
this one is really crude. I don't know if I'm gonna run this at the show because it's so weird, and I don't even know how I accomplished this. Okay, this is I don't even know if I call this Railway Series because it's technically in the show. He's practically the same, but
Yes, I was
Asparagus.
waiting for this.
Yes.
This thing is
Yes.
crazy.
That's really cute, dude. I love that.
which
The
actually
fact you
it
motorized
actually
him, dude.
moved.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's got a motor in it as well. That's a Bachman Thomas. To people that ask, it's a Bachman Henry wheels with a Bachman Thomas gear and a motor here. Practically.
So it does
Insane.
run.
Yeah,
If I just,
it
I'll
does.
send you an entire Henry chassis right now. Right now.
Like, yeah, I think I got some
Good
video
business,
evidence.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, let me
if
get
you,
some video evidence.
post
of
the video
this.
in Discord.
And
I'll
that
bring it up on
Fergus
stream.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I didn't know till the other day that was, Henry wheels on a Thomas chassis. You'd never think. I sure as hell didn't.
No, not a million years.
I'll send it
Stuff,
in
man.
the chat.
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Here, hang on. I might as well put it on video. Where are my photos? There we go.
There it goes.
Hey,
It actually
There he is.
moves. It actually. So
Crazy.
Good stuff, man.
George got the dog going.
What the dog doing?
What the dog doing?
The dog doing. I'm gonna show something I'm gonna be bringing.
Yeah, sure.
I've shared it on Twitter a couple of times, and I'll keep it short. But if y'all wanted to see the Toby's Museum Coach N00 gauge, HO00 gauge, I can finally share them. But these guys, they're basically what Bachmann had made. But here's the thing. This is what the Thomas show had, because they simply repainted the brake coach for, what is it? Toby Feels Left Out, that episode in season 9. We never got a composite, but basically on Twitter, I did a repaint of the red coach and a couple of different liveries to be inspired about, well, what would it look like if it was produced in this color? And I remember adding Bachmann saying, hey, it would be really wonderful one day if this was done by Bachmann to be able to have not only a composite but a brake coach. And a couple of months later, like, they at me and saying, hey, did these look good? And there were production samples of the painted models. And I was like,
That's
my
so
jaw
insane.
dropped. Look, the show never had this. But the fact that we actually got a composite and a brake coach, went on sale a few weeks ago on Train World. So if you guys own one of these or want to get them, at me on Twitter, because I am so happy that anyone who wants to get these can make trains with them. Because listen, these look great with Toby, with LBSC Thomas, and even with Edward. They're very, very classy. So I got a couple of them. But Bachmann actually sent these to me as a thank you for suggesting them to me, suggesting them to make these. And I couldn't be happier. Like, imagine making a tweet suggesting something for Bachmann and seeing them actually make a product based around that. So
Maybe they'll
I'm excited to get people interested in seeing that.
maybe they'll take our suggestions and make a Duncan model that'll look good.
Bachmann
Well,
Stanley,
yeah.
a Bachmann
I can't wait to see the
Stanley,
forums. I can't wait to see the forums.
Oh my god. Yeah.
You bet.
Yeah,
You bet.
I've been
People have been begging for those models for years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've been trying to collect more just like, prototypical rolling stock, because it just like fits in with my like the aesthetic of my models more. But like I gotta grab some of those coaches. They're really nice. It's like
I deemed them the Steven coaches.
yeah, everybody
just
has.
grab the
Cute.
the red ones. I
Cute.
had these on the shelf. These are
Nice.
awesome models. I love these.
Yeah.
These were
too.
some of the
They did a great
first
job
coaches
with
I
the
picked
body.
out. And the roof, it's just a very simple fix, but it brings so much to it. I'm not really too big on the black roof. These have always been some of my favorite in the show.
Yeah. I was thinking duck.
Me too.
The
Yeah.
duck coaches usually.
Yeah. Let's see if there's a question and then show off more stuff. How long on average does it take you guys to make a model? We're gonna go around the circle.
Yeah.
Everybody can weigh in.
Like, you guys go ahead.
I'll go last, so George.
I guess I'm going. So, in terms of like just like making a model from scratch, I haven't really done too often. Like I can't say I'm like a really experienced modeler in that regard. But something like this, I just showed before, like these trucks, I bang these out in a couple of hours, like a whole bunch of these. So I would say a couple hours to a couple days. This right here, the 009 Season 4 Rusty. This is like my favorite. This is my baby. I love this. This took 3 days max. That was, a lot of trial and error. Like the name here originally, it was kind of crooked. So when I peeled that off, it took a bunch of the paint with it. so I had to respray one side. It was rough. I'm still not completely satisfied with it, but
Even though you should be.
enough, you know, like to me, this is. I know I can do better now. I just always have that, you know. So
Every
yeah, that's it.
single model is a unique challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, this one's the latest challenge. This is Rheneas, really proving to be a challenge. This is the Bachmann. Second, perfectly in the box. But this is the Bachmann motor on T-Doc's printed shell. This is just recently.
Paint job came out really smooth.
Be careful with those pistons, man.
This is enamel paint, which I'm not really too big on. But it came out. You know, I just you kind of let it dry in like a nice, like well ventilated area, and you get a really smooth paint job. So now the challenge is, you know, sourcing the nameplates, numbers, lining, all of that. Usually I just vinyl cut those things. It shouldn't be too hard. But unfortunately, he's not ready for Edison. This one's a little bit of a challenge. This one's much time in this. You know?
Oh, great, man.
Johnny, how long does it usually take you for their model?
It really does depend on the model in question. It depends on my resources. It depends on. Someone asked me, like, someone in the chat asked about the Percy, so there you go. It's how I made it was just it's a 3D print shell box chassis. When it comes to any model, it really does depend. Like, it depends on like what's available at the time, and it really just depends on will Bachman possibly make it, or will a company possibly make it. Sunny, there's an RT model that looks really nice. When it comes to someone like Stanley, I believe Ellsbridge made that 3D printed shell that's on Twitter.
Oh yeah, that one's nice.
Sometimes I spitball, and what I mean by that is that I just wing it. The Fergus here was just something I did. Literally, I was late at night, and I was like doing something, and I was doing it as a joke, and it actually worked. I don't know how that goes about.
Fergus model off again. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Even the face too.
Oh, the face is.
The face is
it
just.
took me a while to register where that's from.
Where is it from?
It fits.
It's an Earl Colby,
Ah.
basically.
Smart.
I wouldn't even tell.
Which fits surprisingly well on this.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you can pull because I haven't tested that out, but that's going to be hilarious. But yeah, just trust what you can. Trust what is out there, and don't fail. Don't be scared to fail at some things because you cannot be. You're not going to be good at everything, and some things take multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it's a really good point you bring up. I think also in addition to that, trying out stuff on a smaller scale before you enter something big is always a good decision. And a lot of times when you start something, you realize, hey, you know, I can get better resources for this. You know, like sometimes it pays to get the more expensive parts and things like that because it just ends up looking nicer instead of, you know, ideally you'd want to make whatever you can with the resources you have. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
If it's something in particular that just makes it look a lot better, it's better sometimes to just go with that, you know.
Yeah, I definitely have had that experience. When I was making my Henry, originally I bought like just whatever Hornby Black 5 I could find on eBay. It was like real cheap. It just showed up. It didn't work. I tried servicing it. It didn't work. And the fucking sorry for swearing. The guy on eBay was like a gigantic prick who was like I messaged him like, "Hey, this is broken." He's like, "How dare you say that about this? Was my father's train. I ran it right before I sent it to you, and it worked fine." And I'm like, "All right, man, whatever." And so, like,
Okay,
I was just like, I'm done. I'm done buying cheap trains, and I bought like the railway. I bought the railway Black 5, like $200 model. I'm like, in the end, it was worth it. Like Henry's kind of one of the ones that like a lot of people first kind of noticed before, and I think it's my most popular tweet. Like I think it's like 920 likes. I looked. Like it's so funny when
amazing.
I just like
I remember.
I'm just like sitting on Twitter and like one day I'll just be like somebody liked the Henry post. I'm like, how? I don't even like you had to scroll so far back for that.
I remember the day I saw that. I was just like in shock. Like I spent a good 10 minutes looking at that.
Damn.
Amazing model. And the face too.
The quality is just so good. I think between the particular models that you chose to customize and the care that you've taken with, because you hand paint everything, right, Tom? You
Yeah.
still do that?
Yeah.
The patience to get that and the weathering right is really, really paying off.
That's like another big thing. Not to like interrupt, but having patience for stuff. Like you got it in this hobby. You can't rush it.
Every time somebody asks me for advice, I say just be patient.
Yeah.
I mean, you can rush it, but that's how you end up with. I want to see Rusty right now. This is how you end up with. That's what happens if you rush it. This is a Bachman Rusty. This was a Bachman Rusty. Take your time.
Yeah.
Steven,
Great advice, dude.
how long does it normally take you?
I like John's answer because for me it depends on what scale I'm modeling and what kind of job I'm actually thinking about. Because let's just say a steam locomotive. I'll just use Paxton. Shout out to my friend Kyle at Big Engine 87 and Mads at Norwegian for the really great face, the 3D printed face. Okay, so I got the Bachmann model first, and I wanted to give him a matte finish and some weathering, and I actually worked on him and was able to crank this whole thing out in 2 days. First, there was taking the cab and using my pin vise, just screw out the plastic that fills the windows and the doors. And I like unscrewing it, taking it off, and putting plastic on the inside. If I ever do weathering, it kind of makes it dirty up, like there's a lot of dust and smut blown on top of it from working. Between all of the dusting and the weathering and being able to mask like the cupping rods to give it that much better flat terracotta color to painting everything, that was like basically a weekend. And then all the faces that Kyle reached out to me and asked if I wanted to test them, and I said sure, for HO00 gauge it'd be great to try it. Mads, I commissioned him to print these for me, and the faces took also a weekend. So I would say for this engine, couplings, Smith chain link or screw link couplings, those details. This took me about 4 days to complete. And that was one model. In contrast, I could show you Henry. Henry took a while because I was doing him and Gordon at the same time. Shout out to Execution because he did this really nice face for Henry. That took a bit longer. So I think in 2 or 3 weekends, I sanded the boiler, tried to get the molded detail off, and also gave them matte spray color match the green and made sure that everything looked nice in the detail. That's how long an engine like Henry, a big engine, would take.
Yeah.
Now, contrast, gotta bring this boy out. So something like this, 2 things. This locomotive, I made Proteus for a TCC, Thomas Critter Collective video, when I joined them. 2016, we were doing a 3-parter Halloween special. And I volunteered to do a reveal scene with me and my work because I haven't published or shared anything from before college to when I joined TCC and did some work for them that was model work, other than animation. It took me to make Proteus 5-6 days to put it around the power functions chassis, be able to make all the details by scratch. This is all paper, cardstock. So also a good thing to remember that if you don't have a lot of money, because hobbies like model railroading can be expensive, and for me, I made Proteus and all these models were things that I had when I was starting, when I was younger as a teenager. That's how I made the narrow case stuff even to now. And basically, it's just using the materials to make it look really realistic. Sculpey clay face, a complete body structure with paper, craft wire details. It took me about 5 to 6 days to make Proteus start to finish, and that includes the weathering. And sometimes I might return our model and add some more things because I made the running board a bit of a grayish color a bit later. I need to replace his lamp because it broke off, and I need to really find another one that also works too. So trial and error. You know, I mean, this looks like the prop from the show, and that took me practice and practice with models that didn't look quite as accurate, and making it over and over again until I was happy with it. So, as perfect and as it looks like it's made from brass or from plastic. It all came from using things that I had, and I would pay a fraction of the cost that I would if I was able to do something like T Doc. He's making a custom of a season 4 accurate Duncan, and he has the mill, all the mechanics, all the brass materials to make something like that. And while I don't, you all can take advantage of what you have to make something cool. You can paint any surface and make it look realistic. It's the principles of model making that you can apply with your work to make it look cool. So that's my answer for all my custom locomotives and rolling stock.
Yep. Yeah, and like you're just saying, like the more you do it with especially with your like the paper models, it's like just the better you get at it. And that's kind of the thing. A lot of people are like really scared to start doing stuff where it's like, you're gonna mess up, but like you gotta work through that, and you gotta each time you do something a little better. Lance, absolutely. How long does it take you?
Not to leech off of any answers that have already been said, but for me it's very much it kind of depends too. The scale, what exactly I'm working on. For what I have in front of me for examples, because a lot of what I'm bringing to Edison's packed up. This is what I'm working on right now. It's the Bachman Jr. Billy. I didn't know what to do with him. Somebody on YouTube said you should make him a Tugs custom, so he's got a little megaphone in his front cab window, and I've put a bunch of different tools around him to make it look like the people who are working with him just throwing whatever they need around him, and then I plan to weather him hopefully before Edison. And this has only been like 2 or 3 days, just coming up with the idea, throwing it on there. If it doesn't look good, take it off, get rid of the glue mark, just stuff like that. Then there's things like this, which are the slate wagons that I've been working on. They all recently have been completed thanks to Isaiah. Shout out HK Porter. He made these custom little faces for them, and these are now going to be coming to Edison now since they're completed. This one here took the first initial spray was about a day. Like I took the entire day just to lay the first primer coat because I didn't want to overdo it. I still wanted it to look wood, like make the wood visible and stuff, get the proper weathering. And then it took a couple more weeks just to like look at the actual slate wagons. Like I was in contact with Lewis, who's currently making me a prop accurate slate wagon that I want to keep like with these two, and have like a little family of them. And I would use the pictures he would send me of the original ones as a really big reference for what I would do with the one that I wanted to detail. So that took 2 or 3 weeks just because I wanted to take my time with it. Then I'll get like the C1 Atlantic Henry, and I'll just want to throw a face on it and call it there because that's all I can really do to it without making it a less good model. And that's 20-minute process. It just kind of depends on what I want to do.
Yeah.
More or less.
I guess.
Oh, and it also depends. I'm sorry not to throw this in there. It also depends on if I need outside sources. I'm sorry. I saw your thing. Like for example, recently I got these headboards and nameplates made and number plates for a lot of the customs I'm doing, like the Peckett Percy. I had plans to do a J50 Thomas that I'm still working on, but I don't think he'll be ready for Edison, unfortunately. And when these come, I'll often have to wait for parts like this. That I'm very big on showing off models when they have to reach a certain point of completion. Like I didn't want to show off Peckett Percy until he got nameplates, and now I can actually start on it because I have his nameplates. So kind of depends, like maybe I'll need to wait a couple weeks for these to arrive. Maybe I'll need to wait for the local hobby town to get the TS whatever color I need for Thomas Percy James. Just depends. And like Austerity said, take your time because you'll end up with projects that just don't go anywhere and pieces of scrap all over your workbench.
Yeah,
that's so relatable.
Yeah, I definitely
I think most of us have a box, just stuff like that.
I wish I had. I wish it was all in a box, man. It's just everywhere.
Honestly, that's how I clean it sometimes. Like I'll look for anything are there any lamps here, any couplers, anything I like really need? No, okay. The whole desk and just put it into something and just throw it away. It's fine.
Source it from there,
Yeah.
What do
I don't even want to go through my old modeling drawers. I don't even want to see what's in there.
Yeah. Quickly, one mention, I think it's incredible. In the past, I think 2 or 3 years, how much the fandom and the modeler sector in general has learned from outsourcing each other and their work between supporting particular creators who 3D model faces or commissioning components that are 3D printed. It has been a great learning experience because, like I've shown with Paxton, I'll show you another example. You guys on Twitter may know that I created an OC Donovan, who is like a adopted third brother of Donald Douglas, who is an older member of the class that I based from the Ghost engine from Scaredy engines. He's got a really scary, really dirty face with some dried blood going down like where his eyes is. This was conceived from some drawings that I was drawing from a couple of people I was inspired by in the fandom, and I reached out to Joseph at Thomas Modeler Fan 96, and I gave him the drawings and asked him if I can commission him to 3D print these for me. And he gave me a whole set of ones that he designed, and that took a certain amount of time. And then when he was ready to print them, I commissioned Tom at Tom Tree Legend to print them for me, and they came out really smooth, and that was really great. So connecting with two people and being able to make a model that's so unique like this. I actually have the ghost version. I actually have a normal version with eyes, and he's really melancholic and happy to show him what he would look like when he's at peace passing on to the next dimension, or in his old days when he was alive before he was crashed. So that way, it's like, those are really fun opportunities for me to get creative with friends or people that I want to support and communicate with of what I want. If I can't do something, then I'll pay someone to do that. One of my favorite, quickly, my friend Edits Trains. He is a weathering guru, and I really love being able to work and collaborate with him on weathering projects. And if he even isn't quite working on them, he shows me pictures in progress. And our relationship built with teaching each other skills and talking about our favorite model making techniques. And that's always fun to do. So if you can't do something on your own, try to learn and look at model railroading books. I borrow them from the library, look online forums or on blogs. And that's really helped me learn what I was wanting to learn with things that I would use to be a better modeler. And if you can't, you can always ask help, or with Twitter, there's a lot of people with good knowledge, like people in this call here, can help you to paying or supporting a creator to do what you want to do too. Times very helpful too.
So the last 2 or 3 years, just the amount of growth in terms of like fandom modeling has been crazy. I showed it before, but this is like one of the main things I'm bringing is this Rusty. This would just be the chassis a year ago. This body and the face are, this is Rexecutions. The face, and did a whole face pack. 1 second, I have it here somewhere. There's actually a whole little box for the Rusty. The whole face pack, probably months ago, I want to say, and these are really nice.
Cute.
And the body is taken. The measurements are exactly from the TV series prop.
Hey, I am very late.
Hi, Westy.
Smash Burger.
It's the
Smash
boy.
Burger.
Westy.
Oh, what's up? What's going?
Nothing much. I was out doing stuff this whole time.
Was found with a life? What?
Meth.
Look at that
Exist?
quaff. Look at that quaff.
Westy.
Doing good, man.
So,
What you guys been doing so far?
evening.
I'm about to
Been
talk.
talking about our models, about the show, about some tips for model making, and what we're going to be doing for the show.
Nice, very cute.
How are you?
I'm doing all right.
What
Good.
Oh, should I talk about how long it takes me now?
Yeah,
my
we were gonna
amplification.
go last.
Yeah, so I guess it's like, same with everyone. It really depends. But it also depends a lot on like motivation levels, Like sometime, and lately free time as well. So like sometimes I'll just like, so with this, my small friend here, I like I'd been waiting so long to get this. I like got it in the mail, and like I did pretty much everything I could in like a day, because I just wanted to have them. And then besides the faces, which I had to wait to be shipped to me, uh, focus? There we go. But
Yes.
yeah, these were also by our buddy Kyle, Big Engines 87. But like, I've got some commissions I've been working on. It's funny that he joins right now.
Yeah.
Like,
Got my Tom.
Timing.
yeah, so I've got this Edward I made. This took a little while because I had recently like got a job, and I've been switching over to water slide lining because I used to use pin tape, and so it just the water slide lining. I think it looks nicer. It's a lot more fine. It's a lot harder though. Um,
It pays off though in
Yeah.
the end.
and then Westy. This is Westy's
Hey.
Thomas. I need to do the other side. I'm off work tomorrow. I'm probably gonna do it then.
Nice.
I also think recently a lot more of my stuff has been just been doing things like doing more with things, so trying to get more experimental. So like these two were a pretty big undertaking, the Bill and Ben, because like I'd wanted to make Bill and Ben for a while, but like I wasn't really sure how to do it because there isn't like a really prototypical like Alfred and Judy model. So like I went with the Bachman ones and I like sent them to our buddy Lewis, and he did a bunch of mods to them. He cut the cabs open and installed the handrails, and then these are also some of my first models where I used spray paint instead of brush paint. I used this color, I guess 56 by Tamiya, and I did the bodies with that. In some spots, not super happy with on the bodies, but you look at it from any reasonable distance, they look fine. Then everything else is acrylic paint. But so yeah, just depends on like the later models have been taking longer than some of the older stuff I've done. But I think it's paying off. Bill and Ben also. This was all water slide lining. The best part about it is you can get these nice curves. It's like with the trim tape, one of the hard things is you can't really bend it without like a hair dryer or something. So like
Yeah.
I've got my like Thomas right here. You can see it's just all right angles. And I just think the like bends look nicer. It looks more elaborate. But then like so I've got like got these coaches. I bought these off Hattons when I bought the James set. I had been wanting to make Annie and Clarabelle like since day one, but I just like didn't want to ever spend the money. But like it took me like an hour maybe to go to the store and get the right spray paint, and then once I got here, like took them apart, sprayed them orange a couple times, and then painted the roofs with an acrylic, and then I used I don't know, you can like with like the handrails and stuff. That's just like a Sharpie, like these two, like the Sharpie paint pens for the gold and silver, which is what I normally use. And like these took like I spray painted them, so it took a while for them to dry. But like besides that, it took like no time. Same with I'd done a Rusty. I'll go grab it real quick. Rusty is a hot topic right now. So my original Rusty was the Bachman Rusty, and the shell is not good. I like Bachman, but the shell is not good. So, but this was just sprayed black, and then added the decals, and like the running board is paint, and like the gold highlights are paint. I just wasn't happy with this, so I bought this shell off of Shapeways, and this is just like the rebuild Midlander, like more accurate. I just like it a lot more. It's a nicer shell. This also like I bought black spray paint and I sprayed it black, and then I had to wait for the decals to come in. So yeah, it just really depends. Because even with smaller models, I feel like they can take a while to do. Like just with smaller models, I feel like things are a lot more intricate. I feel like it's a lot easier to notice things that are wrong on smaller models. Maybe that's just me, but like, so like with
Yeah.
the 009 stuff I work on, I always feel like I notice flaws more on them because there's less to take in, maybe.
Do you notice that with the faces, especially the faces at that size too?
Yeah.
The details, the teeth, and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
I am
couple of like
super
the,
anal about the faces. I
there's like
get
a
that.
couple of
Me
the
too.
Ivo Hue mouths where I'm like not super happy with, but I've got a couple where I'm like I've got a couple that I'm good with, so it'll be fine.
Days I'll just
If-
like look at the faces I have, and I just have this urge to redo them. You know,
Yeah.
like I feel like I could do so much better.
I did that.
Yeah.
I've
I
done
did
that
that with
once or times. Yeah.
I did that with the
That's
Bill
why
and
I'm
Ben
very
faces.
scared.
I
Like that's like why like I'm very scared to get someone to paint my Scarlotti faces because like I got a bunch from Rex and they look really good, but I'm scared to get them painted.
Got you,
Yeah.
homie. I got you
Maybe.
covered.
Yeah, I repainted these yesterday because
Nice.
I wasn't happy with the original ones, and I think these came out a lot better. But I'm not happy with Ben's eyebrows; they're too big.
It was George who taught me. I couldn't touch a face, and he like put me on to using the right primer and the right pins and stuff. Because I'd go at it with a dark gray primer from Rust-Oleum and Sharpie pins.
Yeah.
Like you can't do that, you know. Like that's not how you make a
No.
face.
Take it from me. Don't do that.
A lot of
It's
those
not smart.
techniques. A lot of those techniques are not even mine. You know, I could thank Steven for a lot of those, and you know other modelers. What are you
I've
saying
seen
with
that
the
over
going down? I just found
Look at it.
this picture at Nicholas Smith
This
Trains.
is your
These are the
friend. This is your friend. For faces, Rust-Oleum chalked, ultra matte paint, age gray. This is the perfect one, hands down, for faces that I've used. You can
Is that what
usually
Isaiah
get them at
used?
Walmart.
Yeah, this is what everybody
Yeah.
I think
uses.
so. Yeah, yeah. If you ever want to
It's-
use a matte varnish, this is like the best I've had.
yes.
Nylon matte finish from the drawing section of any craft
Yes.
store. People use this as fixative for being able to seal their drawings. Dude, I take this out of the can and I will take my model and I will spray it with my mask, whatever. It's not completely flat. It's like a very between flat matte and a satin. It's like perfect if you want to get. For me, it's great because it holds weathering powders very well. So I often like even with Thomas, just the subtlest of weathering, like where the coal bunker is, and it stays put that way because I sprayed it with the matte varnish first, and then went over it with the powders, and that little detail makes all the difference. You know,
So funny you
Even with the
mentioned
cleanest
that.
of engines.
Just picked up a can of that recently. I use it for everything. It's perfect. Like the go-to now.
Perfect primer
Yeah.
too. Like if you just want to make sure you got like a smooth surface or something like that. I've used it for that too.
Oh yeah.
To me, a primer is pretty nice. That goes on pretty smooth. There's really no like drips or like doesn't run or anything.
It's got no drip,
Yeah.
No drip.
no sauce.
People ask me a lot about the paint mixers I use. I use light gray and cobblestone together with Americana if I want to match them together. Light gray and cobblestone mixed with a little bit of white. That's my favorite for my paint match. I have a whole bottle of it mixed together. Cobblestone, light gray, and white mixed together is the perfect match for the acrylic for the faces. Because people often ask me about that, so I figured we'd share that with the live stream. That way, I get all the details like the lips, and if I have to fix it unless I respray it, that's how accurately I can get the faces. Like this Henry. No.
I love it.
The alien.
Such a good expression.
Food.
Alien.
This is
Yeah.
great.
Like proud of these, man.
It's the first thing that hits my head whenever I see that Henry face.
Yes. So good. And here's Toby. I forgot Toby. Toby and his coach. Toby and his coach. Yeah.
Are you gonna take a miniature
great.
blowtorch to him for that accuracy?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because of his chubby little chin. Another
Yeah.
execution space, by the way. So good. Let me brighten it down a little bit.
What?
It's really nice hanging out with you guys and showcasing our models. It's been great.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what it's here for.
It's the last you're ever gonna see Billy clean on stream. It's the last he'll ever be.
Weather him,
This
man.
pristine.
Dirty him up.
Yes, sir.
He's so cute, though. He's so cute, though. My God.
I need to get this might be like the Infinity Gauntlet for me, getting all the Bachman Jr. locos and repaints of Thomas, to seeing if I can ever source them all.
The Stewart
This might
one
have
is
started
my
something for
favorite.
me.
I love the Stewart one.
I honestly want to say, and it's probably just because I own him, the Billy one's my favorite, but the Stewart one's DCC, isn't it? It came in a set with the Greg, right? I don't remember.
I've got no idea.
They are. A couple of them are.
Like, all that I
Nice.
know, which is like a really weird fact about those engines, is just that despite using the Thomas body shell and the fact that they look identical to Thomas, like apparently it's like but like just like I forget if it's the whole chassis or if it's just like something with it is like slightly different. Like, and like I believe it has a slightly longer wheelbase than the regular Bachmann Thomas.
That's weird.
Because I remember Code was telling me about this because he was trying to find one for his Pack Thomas because it was like slightly better sized than the regular Bachmann Thomas.
Wow.
And that's the only reason why I know that, so you would have to ask him about it, but that's just like a really weird, cool fact on why they're kind of hard to find sometimes, is because people want specifically that one.
I've seen some. I've found some weird things with mine. Like the lamp irons are nothing like any other Bachmann lamp irons. Like these are like specifically made for this E2 engine. They're not like the Bachmann ones like you get on a normal Thomas. They're not like any of my other Bachmann like UK engines. They're just weird. And I was just gonna like take them off a Bachmann one, replace the ones that were missing. I can't do that. They don't look right. So I just filled it up with tools. You know, it's weird. It's a weird little engine, but I like him.
It's cool though. I kind of like that though. It's different.
Right.
It gives you a reason to have him. Like Jay, because like I'm like Jay, because like it gives you a reason to have him apart from just that. Oh, it's Thomas, but a different.
Right. Literally. My grandfather described it. It's a gift from my grandfather. He described it as, "Hey, I just found something on eBay. It's a Thomas, but it's not Thomas." And I was like, "Huh?" You know, and it was just it's on its way to you. And then I asked him to send me a picture, and I saw it was this, and I was like, "Oh, he's not wrong. That's its new nickname now." You know, and it's like it's got that little sentimental value, and then it's also I've only ever had the Bachmann Thomas, so seeing it be retooled a little bit, well, minus an eye mechanism and repainted and stuff, it's just. And it's from Bachmann. That's just cool to me. You know? I don't know. Different.
Sweet.
Very different.
Totally sweet.
Not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind if the regular Thomas didn't have an eye mechanism too.
Bachmann, if there's on the slim chance anybody from Bachmann's watching, this is the demographic who buys the toys here. We don't care for it. We do not care for it. Like we like them posable more than anything, you know.
Like, there's a reason why there is not a single Bachmann Thomas that actually still has the original face with anyone in this call.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Don't speak for everybody. I still haven't gotten my faces yet.
There you go.
Okay,
Alright,
I want to
but-
get different
Yeah.
ones.
Has anybody made the Timothy face? I hate to call it that, the behind the scenes Grandpa Thomas face, because I want to get one of those, and I wanted to bring one of those to Edison, just like surprise people.
The 3D
You should
model, but I'm
DM.
pretty sure that Tim has made that face.
Mm.
Yeah,
Like,
and you,
Or if he
if you
sculpted
want,
it, or if he got it 3D printed or whatever.
you should ask Xavier at Light and Cold because he experimented with one and was showing me. So if you ever want one, you can DM him and you could ask him for the STL file and have someone print it for you.
Nice, thank you,
That'd
Steve.
be nice.
Bets.
Especially if you were to have that at like a show or something, because like people
That's what I
can't
wanted.
understand.
I wanted that to be like my little secret, like surprise train that I was gonna bring. It was actually gonna be this when I found out that it was coming to me. I was like, oh, no one's gonna expect a Bachmann Jr. Billy. And then my grandfather was like, hey, it's not coming until next December 3rd, and I was like, dang, all right. Didn't get any of the parts to make him finish. You know, I was gonna make him an OC Thomas, you know, and then he ends up coming, and then everybody on Twitter is like, hey, don't modify that. That's rare. And I was like, okay, maybe I won't modify this because it's apparently rare. And
It's your model. You can do whatever you want with it, as
That's
long as
why
it
it's
isn't
getting dirty.
harming anybody.
true. Do I need
spent-
to bring back the Percy with the U?
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
I spent like
You
$200.
have
You
very
person-
much.
I spent like $250 to make my model of Edward, so I feel you.
Lance, like you very much inspired me to want to make the changes to my Hornby Thomas. Like I've always wanted since I was a kid, but at the same time, I just do not trust myself enough to do it. So that's definitely something that's definitely something that has like a 95% chance of happening. It's just a matter of when I trust myself enough to do it.
I feel you. Thank you, man. Dude, can I be honest with you about something, Westy?
Yeah, go for
I'm
it.
still not comfortable with the fact that I modified my Hornby Thomas. I don't like it. I don't like what I've done to him. Like I look at it, he's not coming to Edison in comparison to the Great Discovery Thomas just because I haven't done anything to the Great Discovery Thomas, and I don't think there's anything I can do to it to make it better. comparatively,
how
it's like I don't know. I feel like I didn't do much to the model to make it a better model. You know, like you could
But
do
like
better.
your
You're gonna
Hornby
do better than
James
I
and your
did
Hornby
for sure.
Percy are awesome. Like I love your Hornby James and Hornby Percy. Like that's what really got me thinking. Like, oh damn, these Hornby models can look like 100 times better if you just do a couple little things to them.
Thank you, brother. I'm not gonna.
The best
James
part
is all Ed's trains. James is all Ed's trains. I sent it to him, and I was like, "Hey, can you give James just a light weathering? You know, like nothing too serious." He was like, "Sure." Then he sent me my mallard, which I'll pull out really quick. I haven't put him on YouTube or anything yet. Come here, you giant. I'm not gonna curse. We're on stream.
Dog.
Here he is. He's a giant. You probably can't see it in here, but he's a rust bucket now. He looks like he's been not destroyed, but I want him to look like he's been sighted for a while. You know, like he's not in anything besides maybe very light freight work. You know, and when I saw that, I was like, "Yo, never mind. Do whatever you want with James. Just do whatever. Go crazy." Got him back, which he's the one you can see on YouTube, and he is probably my best model. I'm not gonna lie. And just like Steven said, Ed is a weathering guru. You cannot.
Awesome.
I don't care who you are. You can't compete with him. It's just insane.
Yeah.
Speaking as a best friend of his, it's been great to watch his creations come to life. So if you can, take a look at his Patreon, his Twitter, Ed's Trains. Love you, man.
Bye.
Yeah, good stuff.
No more Westy.
There goes Westy.
One more Westy. He got Thanos snap.
Westy.
I also highly recommend Steven's Patreon because that's where I get a lot of my modeling tips. Straight up, the entire building process for Donovan and stuff like that. That's on there, right?
Yeah, I need to update it with the faces, but it is patreon.com/my name on the screen, SodorRyModeler with one L. So if y'all want to subscribe and look at sort of long blog format, deep dive tips and tricks to make your customs look good, you can post and subscribe to any amount, and I'll be posting stuff to show you how to customize your models. Just something if you ever want to support me with a subscription, you can do that with any of the tiers that you want. Yeah, it's fun times. We have a good time down there.
I'm sub to Stevens. It's great. It's like a little model railroad magazine almost.
It's literally what it is. It's a monthly model railway magazine. It's like I'm getting model railroaders again. I miss those days. But it's about Thomas. It's better.
Yeah, exactly. And if you guys can't, make any subscription, that's totally fine. I've got my other blog still up, and I've been updating with a few other ones. It's SodorModelRailroading.blogspot.com, and I still have it up too. I can post it in the chat. It's been great being able to just showcase. I mean, that's how I got on the fandom: blogger, YouTube, then Twitter. That's how I met you guys. Full circle. It's incredible to think about.
Yes, sir. Just since everybody else is plugging theirs, I have a Patreon as well that if you guys are interested in, it's just for model trains and getting to view videos early. I'm actually going to be slowing down making content within the next couple weeks because because of Edison, and I also want to stop making videos every day in opposed to taking a couple maybe weeks or longer days to make videos that are more intricate. As much as I loved making the history of series, there's only so many times I can tell you guys who that the faces are cast in resin, and it's the same story all the time. I want to try some new stuff, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I have a video coming out about the Hogwarts Express and the story of I can't remember the name of the class, slipped my head.
Castle.
Castle. Yeah. Yes, the story of the name of the engine specifically, is it Orion Hall or something like that? Orion Hall.
Orton Hall.
Orton Hall, his whole story. So if you want to see that early, it will be put on Patreon probably a couple days before it gets put on YouTube.
No,
the engine. The correct name for it.
The engine is called Hogwarts Castle, but it's a Hall class. I got it confused.
Peach's Castle. That preserved.
I actually just bought the Bachmann one, so I'm hoping it's a pretty good model. We'll see.
We're
committed to buy.
Bachmann as a kid. I loved it. It's in storage right now. It's buried. It was a fun model. So.
It seems like it. I've never had anything that's not Thomas or just standard. So, have any of you guys had the Polar Express by Lionel? Not the O scale, the HO. Is it worth it? Because it looks like a pretty solid model. The more I look at it.
Nah,
hey man,
I haven't.
We're talking about Patreon accounts. I know Austerity. Thomas has a one as well.
Shout
My
out
bad.
To
Very good. Also,
Yes,
sub to
sir.
that.
Shout out.
Just recently did one on Ivo Hugh and Bill and Ben. Very in depth on there. So definitely, if that's kind of what the style you're into, or like you want tips, those are the best places. Or even just like you know, making a comment, messaging us about stuff like that. It's always good, kind of give out tips and stuff like that to people. That's what it's all about.
Right. Feel free to tweet at any of us as long as there's not it's not your username tattooed on.
Oh my God.
Amen to that, brother. Be weird.
Tip number one, just in general, life in general, just
Don't be weird. Don't be weird, bestie. But also be yourself.
Be good weird.
Yeah. If you see me on Twitter, I'm always telling George I'm gonna kiss him or that he's handsome. It's different. It's a little different.
Where's the line?
Sometimes when I'm making models, I like sharing things that are going on in my life from time to time. And I also think, like, recommending to everybody, I think this was something I was talking to my friend Isaiah at HK Porter a little bit. A certain number of people have a good following where they've built a connection with their community. And if you're not sure, just like with your models, keep trying and improve from your mistakes and be yourself, because sometimes you'll learn a lot from, if you have a circle of trusted people, keep trying and asking questions and just see if you can just try and experiment. If this one thing doesn't work, try it a different way and see if that would work for you too, because that's how you're going to grow, that's how you're going to learn. And it's the same results might not be the same for everybody. It's everyone's experience is unique and special.
We fill in the hat with
you
capsules.
guys kill it with your models. Do the best that you can and keep trying.
We're filling the hat with capsules.
Yes.
Sheesh.
I can only think of one capsule to bring because Westy's got like them all, and it's just Scotsman. Should I bring more capsules? Do you guys like? If you all recommend any
I've
for me?
got a whole pile right here.
Oh my God,
dude! I got.
These are the best tools ever. These are awesome.
These are all engines, like one thing a track, just all locomotives.
Made Lucinda the boat.
They're the best toys.
It's like
I don't got any capsules. I'm filling the hat with Aerodolls.
I'll give you one. I'll let you choose one at Edison. I got you, bro.
It's like Halloween candy. I got my brand in my hat. Oh my God.
There you go, bro.
This is scary.
I can't believe you got. How do you all get the deals, man? Like getting Sunshine for as cheap as you got him, Hornby James for as cheap as you got him. You sent me Hornby Henry for as cheap as freaking I got him. Just Jesus Christ. Yeah. I still feel bad about that. I love seeing the memes on Twitter where it's like, you must sacrifice. And I did. I did to have to get that Atlantic. I did.
Oh, yeah.
This one's from Westy. This is Douglas.
Cute. Look at it.
Aw, dude. He gave me my Donald.
I don't have a capsule, but I have my very first Topham hat model I
made.
Oh, dude.
Play.
That's adorable.
It's on my YouTube channel. If you guys remember Something in the Air or Cranky Bugs, he was in those remakes. And as a good contrast, shout out my friend Jacob at Flying Pringle.
I hate that
made
guy.
this prop for me.
Yes, sir.
Of course you do. Of course you do.
It's the small scale and the large scale prop. There you go. It's the same thing. Just like the show.
Jacob, whenever I talk with Jacob in our DMs, we talk about our beginnings with modeling a lot. I remember the very first tweet that he quoted from me to say that I inspired him with his wooden clothespin figures. And to see him grow to make this kind of good stuff is mind-blowing. The detail and the accuracy. So it's like I posed this together with him with my reveal to say like, inspired each other a lot. So it's cool that's one of my best things about making friends with the Thomas community. My followers, anyone in general who likes Thomas. It's cool inspiring each other with stuff, man. That's what I live for.
One of the biggest things, and I want everybody to know that I still get scared messaging big users. I still get scared talking to people I've never spoken to. It's something that very much exists with everybody. Do not ever be afraid to tweet at somebody, be like, hey, how did you make sure that that's facilitated and grows? That's all, we're all just people, never be afraid to just ask. If I would have made a lot of better models if I just had Steven in my corner if I would have known I could just ask Steven, at 16 years old. Hopefully I can, for you guys, you know,
Thoughtful, man. Thank you. Same
if
goes
you
to all,
ever
really. Experience, you know.
if you ever have any sort of situation where you need a sensei, in life. Steven has been that, you know, for modeling, for stupid takes on Twitter, you know, he's been there very quickly to, you know, help me whenever I need it, you know. Just if you ever are scared to jump into the modeling scene, find somebody who is, you know, maybe already in it, who can help you, you know, get the right start. One of the biggest questions I ever get is, what train set do I start with? And it's like, which one do you want?
Yeah.
That's your question,
Actually,
you know. Just
that's a question someone asked in the chat, and a few people were talking in. Like, I think you can pick a brand. It could be Hornby, it could be Bachman Branchline, or Helljan. Some of them sell sets or local packs or locomotives themselves. As long as you've got a good running piece of track that all the electrical parts run well. I like making sure that my layout runs well and is electrically put together nicely to make sure my trains would run, because there's no point in doing that if I can't operate my locomotive. Like, you know, having any of these models look as pristine as they are, I want to make sure that they work quite well. You know, clean the wheels, make sure you got some really good model cleaning supplies, and you can always Google it or look at your hobby store and ask them questions for that too, because that in itself helps sustain a model's longevity, so you don't have to keep buying parts sometimes. Also, like, we talk a little bit about Hornby and the old tooling versus Hornby's and the eye mechanism versus like Bachman Branchline's junior range, for example, and kind of reverse engineering our own models. I think we've learned so much from practicing with that, because like I've created from my paper models for the large scale narrow gauge trains. I modified my Hornby and my Bachman stuff, and I've learned so much through doing that, whether it's kit bashing or actually just fixing models. It is fun to play around with, as long as you can have enough, like, if it's your, depending on how old you are, if you're still in school and you're relying on your parents' allowance, if you have a small job, you're making some money online, or if you're actually grown like I am, I have a full-time job, or in college, it's like, you know, what can you do to maximize what you have and learn and grow in the process, you know? Talk about.
I think that's like, you know, just kind of like a lot of people just don't get discouraged with this stuff, you know? Be very easy.
you're
know,
gonna
do
make a
something-
bad model. You're going. That's how
made
everybody
something-
starts.
Look back at that, or, you know, even when you make something you're proud of, you look at that, you know, closer, and you're like, yeah, you know what, I can do better. This isn't really up to my standard. I know I'm better than this.
For sure.
So it's, growth, you know.
Me with Duncan. God, I hate Duncan. Everybody wants me to bring Duncan, but I'm like, why do you all want to see
He is
this?
amazing.
I could do so much better, you know.
Pause incoming.
It's so funny. Like, a lot of people have said, you know, what they're bringing, stuff like that. We're gonna have, you know, pretty much all the narrow gauge engines represented except Peter Sam.
So the moment T Doc makes that shell, though, or Bachman releases it, it's a race. It's a race.
Fill him in
Aside
with the
from-
Takayoshi here.
Bring him.
Plan
It
on
works.
bringing
Just bring
these.
him. I'll put him on a
I've got set of
flatbed.
these. They're really cute.
I won't be guaranteeing
Very
it.
light.
I'm gonna try to bring my Peter Sam because I have time off next week, and I'm gonna try to see if I can finish him. If I can't, I'll reveal him on Twitter. It's just my career schedule has been really hectic, but Peter Sam and Stewart are two engines. Well, you know, the mid Soda Railway engine version and the Scarlowe Railway version, of ones I haven't touched in a really long time. And for Peter Sam, all I need to give him is a funnel, figure out and make the cupping rods and those things. But it's incredible. Like, we're going to be showcasing different alterations of characters and have them in the same place. Like, some of you mentioned Duncan. I'll be bringing this Duncan, you know, all of you guys and your unique customs. It'll be great to see together.
Duncan is phenomenal.
Dude,
Yeah.
they look
He's
so.
on paper,
Yeah,
it's
if
like-
only you
like-
could have modeled for the actual show. Season 4 Steven.
My dream. God, that would have been my dream, dude. I mean, I've always looked up to David Mitten and the mall making team and their craftsmanship. They were huge inspirations, man.
You are
Every
David
time.
Mitten at this rate.
Oh, shucks, bro.
Let me see an explosion scene.
Thanks.
We'll confirm it.
Yo, I just want to show this when it comes to people that you're gonna make a bad model. I started
you
doing
even-
this.
You don't make bad models,
I started
John.
doing this when
Stop.
I was I started doing this when I was 11, right? So I put this in the Discord chat, so anybody that's involved with the Discord chat knows. But that was my first customs.
Oh.
So
It's so cute.
Those are
I
still.
remember seeing that. Yeah.
and now
Compared to what you can do now.
The standard. Must be at least you had the courage to try.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
so
Beautiful.
The man.
Wow.
Yeah, I've posted
That's a good
pictures of my.
contrast.
I could grab.
And now you're making the only OO scale Fergus that I think exists, like at all. Period.
Thank you.
Hey, dude.
I would wait.
be the
what?
first.
Wait.
Honestly.
Is there another one? I've never seen another OO scale Fergus that I know of. I could be wrong.
I think there's a printable shell.
Could be. This is a good question.
But you can power that. You can't power that like he did.
True.
It's true.
Where's the lie?
Does the flywheel work? I have to know.
What?
Does the flywheel work on it?
No, I'm not. I'm not
Nah.
that extreme.
You should make
he
Theo,
runs,
dude.
like, that's amazing.
You can make Theo at this rate, man.
Possibly. Actually,
That would be
now that you
cool.
mention that, bro, the gear is not that far from the flywheel, so I can actually try that.
You could,
God,
dude. Just get another little gear in the middle. Boom.
psycho.
Good man.
Yeah, I've posted.
But so that's I don't know how you do it, like how you'll do it, but shit, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I've posted
Try
like,
it.
my original Tom.
Sorry, I cursed.
And then my latest model. It's just so funny to compare.
Dude, that Ivo Hue.
Little guy.
You and who
Just a
else worked
couple
on it? I'm
months.
sorry, I can't remember his tag.
So this was so it was my buddy who needs more followers at JWhizzleHizzle on Twitter. I'll post it in chat. Please follow him. Oh,
Jay
I typed it wrong.
Wizzle.
Did I type it wrong? No, that's right. Yeah, he's got like 150 followers, and he should have more than everybody here. He's sick.
What's his ad address? How do you spell it?
I typed it in
forget.
chat. But yeah, he's
Good,
working on
do
my he built the chassis for this for me essentially. I sent him the Bachman Percy. And the Tom Rolt shell on Shapeways, it comes with its own pistons, so it's not like the Percy ones. So he essentially built that and then sanded it for me, sent it out. He added the pony truck. And he added the couplings because the shell doesn't have couplings, and then he didn't print the faces. Lewis did. Yeah, he did a lot for it, and then I just painted it and added the decals and everything.
Great stuff, man.
Phenomenal. You are the first person I've seen make an 009. Yeah, like it. He's the first. John's the first person to make Fergus. You're the first person to make Ivo Hue.
I think there's two.
You guys are like going straight through. Wait, there was that one guy right on the Bachman
Yeah,
forums,
there was
the older dude.
There was an older guy
Yeah.
who made him, and somebody else I think. I don't remember.
It's really nice. I like his
I
creation.
got some faces too.
I never got
yeah,
to
I'm
talk
the
to him.
first person who was
Wait, Jay WhizzleHizzle, right?
Yeah.
Bet.
The faces were made for me by Kyle. I was like messaging him, and I was like, "Do you do commissions?" He's like, "I don't know how." And he was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "I give you money and you make something." And he was like, "How do you pay me?" And I'm like, "PayPal." He's like, "I have Mastercard." And I'm like, "All right." But so he just
That should still work.
no, he just
There
did
you
them.
go.
He didn't even he didn't even
Poor
want
guy.
anything for them. And they're like,
Wow.
So funny.
he posted
I
the
remember
full
the-
face sheet, and I posted all my ones that I painted on Twitter, and they just capture the season 4 vibe so well.
Remember the day too. I was with you, and we went to Nicholas
Yeah.
Smith Trains. You're like, oh, like I'm gonna get the N-scale Percy because I really want to do Ivo Hue. We went back to your house, and I was like, oh, like, you should probably ask Kyle if he can, make the faces off like the one
Yeah,
pitch of Ivo Hue.
there's two
with, like, the
pictures of
curtains.
Ivo
I was
Hue.
like, yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
I was like, I can see that in like a season 4 style, and I know he's nailed that. Like Steven showed the Edison, and Lance recently has the Big City Engine, stuff like that. So I was like,
and the Flying
he
Scotsman,
could really pull that
the
off in
Murdoch,
classic
the
style.
Ryan.
Yeah. Amazing
Yeah,
work.
like I also have these guys too. Shout out to anyone who went to Edison 2019 I had just finished doing dotted splatter, but now they have better faces. Shout out to Joseph at Thomas Modeler Fan 96 again, because he made a whole set of these for me, and I am incredibly blown away how much they look like Thomas Magic Guerrero. But these are bona fide from Bachman, Airy, and Burt. Turn out quite good.
Wow. Let's say I'm gone for a minute. You bring out Splatter and Dodge. Dang it.
These are some of my favorites. I think these were legit the very first customs and HO scale that I've done with these locomotives, HO00, that I felt really confident in doing. The decals, the weathering. I am so proud of these guys.
It's funny you bring those up.
You should be.
I was gonna do Splatter and Dodge with Lance a while ago.
Well, I still have the
shell
shell.
right here. Yeah, I have mine, and it's so like these are just in a bag right now.
Those the
I have a
faces.
whole bunch of different expressions. Let me just open it real quick.
Yeah, you showed them to me when you were paying them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joseph. You rock. Thank you
Joseph.
for these. They're bomb. They're bomb.
Yeah, these are really nice, and they look like the one scene in the movie. But I was thinking, that'd be cool, like meetups and stuff to have. I was gonna do Splatter. Lance would do Dodge. Just have them both,
Yeah.
And right now that project's
On hold.
Life.
low on
It's
the-
just
on the
life.
priority
That's
list.
all we can really say. Things happen.
Food. Yeah.
So I think we've been going for like an hour and a half now. So I'm getting hungry.
I was gonna say.
would like to.
Me too.
Any How do we wrap this up here? One last question.
Well, we got a
Any
bunch
closing
of
thoughts?
questions,
Yeah, we do
like-
have a lot of questions. So we'll speed run some of these.
Fire through some questions.
Yeah.
Speed run some stuff.
Let me scroll back. Scrolling back far. Lance, somebody asked when the next layout video is.
Up Train Boy, not Dogecoin prices. I'm just kidding. I don't know how that works.
Spencer for $30, Jax. That's
What?
interesting. Wow.
Oh, Tom's modeling corner's in here. What's up, dude?
God.
What's
Oh, that
I
guy's
love
amazing.
your review, man.
Yeah, that
I
guy-
loved your new
Oh,
review, man.
O-scale, right?
Yeah, that guy's the reason I made.
Yes,
JT
sir.
Thomas.
He's gonna single-handedly get me into spending more money.
Oh yeah.
Stuff is awesome.
I remember I was looking at like O scale models. I was like talking to George, and I was like I just wanted one just to have because it's so cool. And I like saw that they had like the A3s, like the blue A3s, and I was like, dude, this is awesome. And it was like bargain price $500. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Um,
Recently, there's the live stream Teleclin.
I want one of those.
Those
So bad.
O-scale
I'm
and
gonna get one of those.
Gauge one.
Yeah, the gauge one. I gotta get that.
Awesome.
What's everybody's favorite model
Those
train?
has been really prevalent the past couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know the first thing about O-scale past 3-rail, so for me it seems very scary. Like it's like a whole new thing. Like I follow what John said. You don't spend over $300 for any model train, no matter what it is. I don't think you can do that with O-scale.
No.
I just don't think you can.
Yeah.
I think you just have to pray.
Question: what's everyone's favorite model train? Parenthesis, not Thomas models. I don't have any not Thomas models.
Real quickly. My friend, I will change the please ask, can we get 5 remakes in one video? So again, that's I don't know if I'm not 12 anymore, so I don't know if that energy's there anymore.
Ooh, bro, that's relatable. Let's see.
Favorite model?
Favorite model is a really good question. I'm not sure.
I think
'Cause I
out
have
of
so many favorites.
I think out of
Thomas model.
yeah. Well, all my
What was the question?
what's your favorite model train? Not Thomas models. So it's like hard for me because
Oh,
all my
I can
models,
show you.
all my models are not Thomas, but I painted them to be Thomas. I knew Lance was gonna pick that. Is that the Dapole Stepney?
It is. I'll show you 3 things. So you go ahead. You finish up, and I'll go after you.
I know Lance just had the C1 Atlantic. George just had his Dapole Stepney.
Alright.
So
We're like at the ready with our models.
I think mine, as upon like getting it, I guess before I made it Thomas, probably the H2 Atlantic. That was a nice model.
Mhm.
Maybe the Great Northern. Oh, that's a banger. That's a banger.
Getting Thomas for the collective PST, brother.
I've got
Mostly
mine.
have-
Mine.
What's yours?
Oh, you go,
Thomas,
Steven.
models.
Oh,
Just Apple.
To answer your question, it is the Daypool. It is the Daypool Stepney.
This one's really
Stepney in
old,
BR
too.
Black.
that one's nice.
That's
What do you
amazing.
guys recommend for a terrier? DePaul, Bachman? Because that DePaul looks
Either
amazing,
one.
but everybody says the DePaul ones
Either
suck.
one.
I'm not gonna lie.
This
This
runs
one
so clean.
really sucks.
So it depends on the model, but these are good. I haven't had a problem with them. But either one, Hornby or Daypool, they're great. And this has a fire flicker. Even in DC, it's quite nice.
Oh, D
What?
class.
This one.
D class is my favorite model. I have.
Oh,
That was a
D-Class
nice
is
model.
beautiful.
I have this one. This is the one that rails at Sheffield, also commissioned by Daypool. Actually, I think.
Yeah.
What was the?
This is handsome. My friend Nick the Unlucky Tug has one.
Yeah, that
They
was
are
a really nice
beautiful.
model. I remember a lot of people were scared when I made my Edward that I used one of those, and then it was like, "What are you doing?" Favorite
What was the question?
favorite model train, Charlie.
Oh, this is a.
Biggie
It's
Smalls,
You gotta
the
answer
Millionaire, the
question two.
Mansion.
I'd say it might be the.
Yours may
The
be occupied.
Are you there?
hello.
Yeah. What's up?
Michael.
I think it's the Rapido J7. It is so good. I love that little thing.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I gotta get one of those eventually. Johnny, what's your
I
favorite?
got the two. I got two. I could only knock it down to two. There's a non-Thomas ones. Okay, this is an OC that I plan to do. It's been in my remakes like, back in the day, but I didn't really do anything with them. This is a model I got back in 2014. This is a 5600. These things were also called Taffy tanks, which that's the name of the OC that I made for them. His name is Taffy. I think the word Taffy was like a derogatory term for these things, but I have a little story where he uses that name, flips it. It's actually a name that he loves.
Nice.
That he wants to take in. The other thing, this thing is not like, it's this is a. Do not be intimidated by the box. I did not pay that much for it, but it's a.
Oh, is this? I remember seeing
It's a
one of
Scotsman.
these. That's so nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
The two tenders.
They're not that expensive. Yeah, they're not that expensive. The reason why I got this one was because it looks exactly like how Scotsman looked in the books.
Yeah.
There you go.
Remember when I was trying to get one that my friend Nick of the Unlucky Tug, he actually recommended that one to me because I was able to find the newer tooling of the Flying Scotsman from a couple of years ago. I love that model very personally. The Americanized one with the cowcatcher and the bell in the front. Both of my Flying Scotsmans. They're good runners. They look beautiful. I love those ones too. That's a good model, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it was for the price you get it for. It was only I only paid 114 for it, so that's.
Hey,
not
Michael.
bad at all.
Michael, what's your favorite
Deal.
YouTube model?
Yeah.
Very funny.
Well, what is it? Come on.
I'm gonna roll with a Bachman Thomas.
Golden
Oh,
very
Galaxy.
good choice.
Golden
Galaxy
Galaxy. Let's
Golden.
go.
What's your favorite golden bear?
Bachman Thomas is
Not
very
in your
cute.
game, just in real life. What's your favorite golden bear?
Oh,
Question.
favorite golden bear.
Chucks.
Rusty looks
Oh,
nice.
Michael.
I like-
I like the
Thomas,
Rusty.
hope
I like
you're
Rusty.
here.
Yeah.
Should I bring my golden bears for you just to like have at the table?
Bro, how
you need
many
something.
golden bears do you have?
I
Do you even grow
only
them?
have Mavis.
Oh,
I can try to find-
I have like the main characters. I don't have like any of the narrow gauge. Like I don't have Rusty. I don't have I have a
Nah,
talking Molly.
Nah, the only narrow gauge guys they made was Victor, Peter, Sam, and Rusty.
Okay.
So weird.
I only have I have like 3 Thomases: Percy, Gordon, Birdie, Trevor, Harold. I don't remember them all. Just most of them, I guess.
Damn,
Can you bring Birdie?
quite a collection. More
Yeah, I
than
do
most
have.
people
I'll
have.
bring Birdie. I'll bring Birdie.
I'm gonna bring. Oh,
Okay.
I hate that guy.
Bro, do me a solid. Slap the NASA logo on Gordon.
What
I got you.
this question?
I couldn't find the Mavis. I had it in a box somewhere.
What's a model you're most proud of making? And not to be that guy, but the quick answers. I'm hungry.
I don't make them.
You could just eat on stream like me, Austerity. Just
No,
saying.
dinner's downstairs. I would have to leave the room.
Let's go to dinner. Let's go.
You're like
Let's go
This-
to
you're
dinner.
10 hours away.
And
I'm approaching rapidly.
Yeah, you're right.
SCP.
So model
Just
you're
wait a
Is
little
most
that
proud of
actual
making.
question?
Yeah.
Um,
Question.
okay.
What's the model you're most proud of making?
This is gonna sound corny, and it's kind of a cop out, but all of them, because if I wasn't proud of them, I wouldn't be showing them.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, it's hard to pick.
Good answer.
Something
Where's
like
the
that.
line?
He's spitting.
True.
Bars.
Spit. That's called real bars. I can't say any of that.
We have to be nice.
Yeah,
Be nice
yes.
forever.
Yeah, it's like I'm like sitting here looking at like the Ivo Hue and the bill and bed on my desk, and it's like there's like everything's over in that case. It's hard to just pick one.
Yeah, I feel like just kind of just in general, like I guess most people, like your most recent work,
Yeah.
pretty much what you're most proud of, you know, reflective of your skills right now.
I'm
Good
gonna
answer.
if I have to pick one, I'll say Edward because I think I'm the first person to do that. Like that
Edward is beautiful.
use the
That's
D
a good
class.
choice.
I like the Wilbert a lot too.
Wilbert's
like-
my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made this one.
Yeah, all right.
Anyone else? Steven? Michael, favorite
I'm kind
model
of
you
like,
3D made?
I have so many favorites. I really can't pick. I think like what everyone's relaying what other people have said. I think it's special when you think about you look at all the ones that you've made, and depending on your skill level and what you do, every one of them is a unique challenge, right? Like we were saying earlier in the stream. But like I was proud of Dodge's Splatter because they feel very prop worthy looking models, and that was some of the very first ones I ever did in at scale after getting into it in a while that I really felt happy about. I love Proteus because he also looks like he's from the show with a few more details, rivets, and things like that. I don't know. It's like I like my Hornby Murdoch. That's weathered. That it has Big Itch and Kyle Big Itch and 87's faces on it too. It looks quite handsome, like a really nice weather locomotive that's like from the British Isles, but as a TV series prop. I don't know. They're all very close to my heart. I like my buildings. I like being able to film with them, and just making them look as good as I can on camera. You know, even for Twitter, it's special.
Yeah.
Every one of them has a story to tell.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Michael, favorite model
So
you've,
true.
3D designed?
Michael.
Mikael.
Sorry, what? I wasn't thinking.
Your favorite
Michael.
Your favorite model you've 3D designed since you haven't made a physical one?
My favorite online 3D designs.
Yeah, like your favorite. So the question is, what's your favorite model you've made? So
I like my Shima model. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah, you did make a Shima.
Yeah, I like modeled like all the little decals and decorations and whatnot. It's like pain in the ass.
Can you
But
do
yeah.
it again?
You're right.
All right. Any final comments from here? Any final comments from chat?
I love you.
Any other
I
questions?
love you.
It doesn't look like there's any more questions that we haven't answered already.
Alright.
Like, what's your favorite model? What's the stuff like that? That was asked a couple times.
So we could probably start wrapping up. Everybody's getting hungry. So you know, if you guys can, if you're in the area, make it down to the show.
Hop out.
If you want to travel to come to it, and you can, you know, that's even better.
Don't force yourself.
You know, just we'd love to see it. You know, we're putting in a lot of work to make this event go as smooth as possible. So I think we'll have a pretty good turnout of people at this.
Absolutely.
We're gonna have all these awesome filmmakers and you know their own creations and stuff on display. We're gonna have an interactive layout. We're gonna have a couple tables with like merchandise display, stuff like that. And as I mentioned before, like one of the biggest things is having the Gauge 1 props right there by us. We're gonna have our own separate kind of fan like meet up with like the tables and everything, and then they'll be right there. Not really attached. So it's kind of nice. You get to see the actual models, and then you see kind of like the fan creations. So
Yeah, we'll have a dedicated place where each and every one of us will help set up the whole show. We'll have a place dedicated to showcase our models and run them. We'll allow you to take turns on the loop, and we'll have a dedicated space for the community table so that if you want to bring your customers and take pictures with them, there'll be a table for that too. I also posted the link in the chat of the event link about the information, but the Greenberg Train Show is in Edison, New Jersey. It's going to go from November 27th to the 28th, Saturday and Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 4 a.m. the one day, and I think the same the next day.
4 p.m.
Both days are from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. Adults are $11 for a ticket, and for kids under 11 years old are free and don't need a ticket. But if you're a bit older than that, then you have to pay for that. But the only information is in there. We've got a whole ton of great layouts and other stalls and train booths and people selling model trains and even art, all kinds of stuff. So there's going to be plenty of stuff to look forward to for everybody at this show. So if you want to look at that link, I'll probably Tom will also link it in the description if you need to. But if you have any questions about the show at all, feel free to at Austerity Tom, at George, at any of us, and take a look at that link. We'll be more than glad to answer your questions. So anyone who can come, we'll be sure to help give you guys make a good experience, have a good time.
Make sure to post that in the chat. That is
Whoever has the coolest Thomas wins a pack of Kato 2439 ballast.
Woo!
That's not true.
Fight to the death.
Yeah,
Fight to the death.
There's the link to the show information and also
Mud wrestling. Me and George.
We could probably also
plug
link the public server, the Discord server.
You're not in that yet.
If you're not in that, I think most of us
doing?
are in there.
What are you doing?
Ask questions, stuff like that. But it'll be a fun time. Look forward to seeing you guys there.
Make sure to if you can afford it, make sure to get the merch and a poster. Thank you to
Westy merch.
Here's
the amazing.
Is it going to be actually at the event too, or are we going to have to get it, separate, wear it too?
So we might have small things at the event, but bigger things like shirts.
You were saying maybe
posters
stickers
and stuff will be harder.
Yeah.
Ballin', but at what cost?
Yeah, for real.
For real.
But Redbubble, I bought a bunch of stuff from Redbubble. I bought this Tamiya sweater. It does not take long at all to get there. George has his Thomas shirt on. I have a Birdie shirt coming.
This is your old logo.
I want to get the Westy Day Out with Thomas hoodie. So bad.
Yeah.
It's got the Strasbourg ones.
It's some great designs. Yeah. Be sure to shop.
If you made Golden Galaxy merch, Michael, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. If I could get a picture of a shirt of Thomas flying through space.
Bro,
100%. Lo-fi shirt. Come on, dude.
Dude, totally.
Market here.
I'll get Westy on it.
So now it's a little over a week. It's currently Thursday. So
thank you. I didn't know what day it is.
It's coming up. Quicker than we realized.
What day is it?
What day is it?
What day is it?
Today, November 18th, Thursday.
Prove it.
Thank you. Hey.
Show me where we are in the galaxy that shows me that.
His phone.
Reference. Right, thank you. That's all I needed. All right.
Yeah. All right. And on that note.
All right. I'll see you guys.
I think we're out of here.
All right.
Later, guys.
Later, boys. See you guys then.
Hanging out with us. You all take care.